We have been talking a lot about extended care policies lately, and there's some misconceptions that people have about extended care planning, and I want to go through a few of those. 80% of people have not planned for their extended care needs. And I find that in my own practice as well. When people come in and sit down and talk to me about their Medicare insurance, they have no plans in place at all for extended care. And I find that interesting because if you're planning for Medicare, you are thinking that at some point in the next 30 years, you're going to go to a doctor or you're going to go into a hospital. But for some reason, it doesn't cross our mind that sometime over the next 30 years, we might need extra help around the house. We might need someone to come in and take care of us. And I know how that feels. that doesn't feel good. We're the ones that take care of everybody else. We've raised families. We've taken care of our parents. We take care of people. Why is somebody going to take care of me? But still, the fact is, if you make it to 65, there's a really good chance you're going to make it to 85. And as we get older, our bodies age. It's harder for us to move around, harder to get in and out of that recliner, harder to get over the bathtub and edge and into the shower. It's also a little bit harder cognitively. Our brains just slow down as we age. We need help getting groceries, making sure to take medicines, doing stuff around the house, just remembering all the things that we need to do to take care of our finances. We just need help. And so I really urge people to have some type of extended care plan in place. And when I ask them, why don't you? Why haven't we looked into this? What's really holding you back? There's a few things, primarily 4 things that come up over and over and over. The first thing is people believe that Medicare will cover extended care needs. It does not. Medicare is designed to handle your medical emergency and get you in and out of the hospital, in and out of the doctor, and back to your daily life. It is not designed to help with aging. It will cover about 100 days of skilled nursing if you need it. So if you do have a fall or an accident and you have a hospital stay and you need some therapy, physical therapy, and some rehab, it will cover that. But a lot of times there comes a point where you're not necessarily getting better, you're just maintaining. You're not going to fully recover from whatever it was that happened. And that's the point when the doctors and the hospitals want to send you home. And it's when you get home that Medicare stops covering. Anything that you need, if you don't have a caregiver around, if you don't have a spouse or kids to help, and you decide to hire someone to come in and help you, that comes out of your pocket. So the first misconception is that Medicare covers everything. It does not. The second misconception that I hear all the time is that Medicaid will pay for it. We've all been into those nursing homes where we've seen maybe it's not quite the same quality. It's not really the place that you want to be. People on Medicaid do not have to pay because the government pays for them. But it's not as easy as you think. You have to spend all of your money first. Even if you do Medicaid planning with an attorney, they're working out ways to give your money to your kids so that there's nothing in your accounts and so that Medicaid can cover you. So think about that. If, all that money that you've saved, that you've worked hard for, and now you're just either giving it away to your family or you're spending it in a nursing home. And once you get on Medicaid, you've lost all control, your personal control over where you go and what kind of care you get. You can't stay at home any longer. Medicaid covers nursing homes. They're not going to cover home health care aides very often. Also, just because that nursing home down the street or that assisted living facility down the street is really nice, it's close, you think, okay, this is fine, we can handle this. They don't have to take you if you're on Medicaid. They have a set number of Medicaid beds, and even if they have an opening, Medicaid doesn't necessarily get you into those places. You could end up at a facility that's an hour away. And how likely is it then that your spouse or your kids are going to come visit? You're risking your quality of life if you're planning on Medicaid to handle your extended care needs. The third misconception that I hear all the time is that long-term care, traditional long-term care insurance, is too expensive. And I get why this is common. A lot of times financial advisors will roll out a long-term care policy, and it could be $600 or $800 a month easily. And you think, yeah, I'll just save the money. I don't want to pay that much. I may never need it. And the money's just lost if I don't use it. So I understand why that feels very expensive and why people don't enroll because of that reason. And I want you to know that there are other options. There are alternatives to those traditional plans. I highly recommend that you look into them again. The fourth misconception I hear is that I'm going to self-insure. Now, there is a very big difference between self-insuring, planning to self-insure, and not planning at all. So if you truly are planning to self-insure, you've probably went through and determined how much it's going to cost, where you want to be. You've looked at, I don't need care now, but in 20 years, what will that cost be? What does inflation look like? You've added all those things up, and you know exactly what fund, what IRA, what annuity, whatever investment you have, that money is going to come out of. That is self-insuring. But what people say often is that, yeah, I'm going to self-insure, and what they mean is, it's not going to happen to me. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to think about it. I'm not going to plan. If it happens, I'll just pay for it. I'll figure it out then. And I really strongly urge you not to do that either. Because what happens is, you're taking it out of places that maybe aren't the best places to take it from a tax perspective. You're relying on your spouse or your kids to make these decisions for you when they're already concerned about you emotionally and physically. Now they're having to add that extra stress in of the finances. So please, just put a plan in place. Have some conversations. Hopefully it never happens. But if it does, you are prepared. You can reallocate assets. You can do whatever you need to do now so that you are prepared 20 years from now when it happens. If you need help preparing a plan or you just have some questions, please contact me. You can also like, follow, or subscribe to our pages for additional information.